Welcome back. It's the Out for Smokes podcast. Before we start, I want to plug some road dates very quickly. I'm coming to a city near you. March 8th, Cleveland. March 9th, Cincinnati. March 10th, Frederick, Maryland. March 16th, Philadelphia. April 3rd, Chicago, Illinois. And something else. I don't know. But go to Mike Recine. Oh, Charlotte, North Carolina. June 2nd, go to MikeRacineComedy.com for tickets. And tomorrow night, I will be at the Grove 34 in Astoria, New York. And that'll be a lot of fun for you guys who say, oh, we never know when you're playing in New York. Tomorrow night, we get some very special guests. And I can't wait. And it's the Out for Smokes podcast. How we doing, Sean?
Good. I heard at the end of your Charlotte date, you're going to lead the audience to the Israeli consulate and self-immolate in front of it.
Is that where that guy did that?
The Israeli consulate in D.C., yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's an Israeli consulate in many cities.
Really?
Yeah, it's like Elm Street. It's like every town has an Israeli consulate.
Yeah.
There's one in Atlanta.
No.
It's like McDonald's.
Yeah. It's making us fat and gay. The Israeli consulate.
You go to New England, they're just everywhere like Dunkin'. It's like, in New England, there's Dunkin' Donuts / Israeli consulate.
Yeah, a woman self-immolated in December. We're talking about Aaron Bushnell, of course.
Yeah.
But a woman actually self-immolated in front of the Atlanta Israeli consulate back in December 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been talking about it, and that just disappeared from the news.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Aaron Bushnell was smart. I mean, he did the video.
Yeah.
And that's what made him become a global symbol. Like, he's being held up as a martyr in the West Bank. He's going to be probably the first American to be honored by the Houthi government in Yemen.
Yeah.
You know, as a martyr.
Damn, what the hell are we doing?
Oh, wait, they're honoring him?
The Houthis in Yemen are probably going to. Yes.
Cool, dude. It sucks that he doesn't get to experience any of this. I was telling Johnny before the podcast, like, ultimate way of getting pussy is kind of to self-immolate, except then, but no. Like, if none of what happens from burning on fire happens.
You just put silicone on your dick and balls so you burn your... I'm sorry that I'm making jokes about this. I did make a couple jokes about this weekend. I lost about 100 Twitter followers. People told me I was tasteless. And,
well, it's like we're supposed to make jokes, but the guy's a hero.
Yeah, of course.
So, but you know, it is funny.
I said we were going to send him an Out for Smokes t-shirt, and somebody was like, he's dead. And then someone was like, how did Michael Brooks associate with you? You're so tacky.
That's right.
Which is, you know.
Yeah. If Michael Brooks, thank God he can't see this.
Yeah.
The shame Mike Recine would bring to him.
Yeah.
But no, I found it funny, all the right-wingers who are like, yeah, this guy's self-immolated for clout or for virtue signaling. Yeah. Like, do you know what those words mean?
No.
Like, I'm getting my Twitter following up by setting myself on fire and burning to death.
Yeah. And not only did he do that last weekend, but Shane Gillis hosted SNL.
That's right.
So just an amazing weekend for white boys.
You know, 2024, white boys are coming back.
It was white boy weekend.
White boys are cool again.
Sorry to do it during Black History Month,
I know.
everybody.
It was kind of, well,
but, it's towards the end.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So RIP.
I was about to say, this is like the least Black History Month has ever felt for me. And then I realized why.
I kind of agree. Why?
Yeah,
Why?
Because I've been in a relationship for 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
But no, they don't. It's not like a thing. They don't go, okay, it's February. We're going to, you know.
This is the first Black History Month Scott has not been in a relationship with a black woman.
Yeah, I'm like, why are things not black anymore? Oh.
What's different about this?
Like, the world's not focusing on race anymore. Oh, I'm not. I'm just a white guy now.
Scott, do you have any laundry for me to do?
Is that my mother?
That's your mother, yeah. I don't know if that's what she sounds like.
No, she doesn't.
You know. No?
It is how she thinks, though. She thinks like that, but she don't sound like that. She sounds like a nice lady.
Right. Yeah. Scott, do you want dinosaur chicken nuggets or regular?
I told you I ate like a tub of ice cream, sadly.
Oh, okay.
Sad as hell. Like when I first moved back home, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, I noticed you love ice cream. She's just like, dude, it's just a
she got you
freezer
another
of
tub.
ice cream.
Another
tub. It's a freezer of ice cream.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I've been doing that recently. I went to Trader Joe's and they have these cinnamon sandwich cookies. They're like cinnamon Oreos. And every time I go, I'm like, I can't do that because I'll eat the whole box in a day, you know. But then I went last time and I'm like, where's the cinnamon cookies? They were gone. So then the last time I went, they did have the cinnamon cookies, and I said, okay.
You should just keep.
So, oh my God, they have them. And I'm like, this is a sign that I have to get these cinnamon cookies.
Mike Racine's martyrdom as he keeps eating, and then he has a heart attack in front of the Israeli consulate.
Yeah.
And a guy comes out with a gun and makes him get on the ground.
He has heartburn.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, so some people do a hunger strike. What I'm going to do is a little different. I'm going to eat Burger King chicken nuggets until I pass away. Just getting fatter and fatter. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this did feel like the one thing that you could kind of, I don't know, make a few jokes about, even though people didn't like it.
Well, the thing about self-immolation, where it's like, yeah, you look into it and you go, this is amazing and powerful. Even when you watch the video, there's that, and we'll get to it, but there is a moment that I think you go, fuck, that might be more powerful than anything.
Yeah,
watch the video. Yeah. But there's also, you explode into flames and that's funny. Like, you forget that part. That's something about... is hilarious. A little.
You ever see the video of the?
I don't know why.
Well, you ever see the video of the white kid? Like, he's standing on like the top of a bridge over water, and he like dumps gasoline on himself, and he's like just in a bathing suit, dumps gasoline over himself, lights himself. Is on flames and does a backflip into the water.
Yeah, this is like,
and
it's like CKY shit.
Right, and it extinguishes the flames, and he's okay.
He's okay?
Yeah, but that was just like, this is why white people conquered the world, because they're so insane.
They're insane.
They just wanted it more. They're willing to fucking light themselves on fire and jump over backwards into a lake or some sort of body of water.
But that has to damage your skin, right?
I'm sure it's not great, but the
I would
views
be so
on
drunk.
Yeah.
My video, I'd be slurring, but I would try to make my point, but I'd be like, I'm about to set myself on fire. I'd be so fucking buzzed.
I guess that's an example of lighting yourself on fire for clout. The views on TikTok, I'm
sure.
Amply rewarded the skin graft he had to get or whatever.
But they say that when people like jump off bridges, people who survive that kind of suicide attempt say that like as soon as they jump off, they regret doing it.
Well, it's like not a tall bridge, the video. It was like
but people who have like tried to kill themselves by jumping off a bridge and have survived, they say as they're falling, they regret it. They regret it like immediately. So I wonder if when you light yourself on fire,
you regret it.
Do you regret it?
Yeah.
Well, but the thing about, and typically I'd say, but this brother was screaming free Palestine the whole time.
Yeah.
Like at some point you break character and you go, okay, but also water, extinguisher.
Yeah.
Like he didn't stop, drop, or roll. Like he just lit up and stood there. He took it.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, we have no choice but to...
Well, that's the thing. It's like...
to donate our Patreon money to his family.
Well, they always talk about the Buddhist monk who lit himself on fire, who's like famously on the Rage Against the Machine cover. But it's, that's such a much more a communal culture, Buddhism. Like he was the senior monk, and he volunteered to do it because he was the most senior monk. He was considered the leader. Many other Buddhist monks and like 5 others in the year after would also self-immolate in the protest. But so it's just so out of the ordinary of America to see self-immolation here, because we're all taught to be so selfish. We're all taught that we're all microeconomic, rational actors, self-maximizing profits.
Yeah, it starts with Frankenstein. They go, fire bad.
Right. So that's why it's so out of character that when a cop sees a self-immolation, they're like, oh, I better pull out my gun and make him get on the ground because he couldn't be doing a protest.
Oh, I forgot about the gun thing.
Yeah. In the video, the embassy security guard points a gun at him and secures the situation.
Yeah.
Drop your fire.
Movies.
Yeah, it's the Human Torch, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his weapon.
But that's the liberals, like the Democrats and stuff. They're like, no, my microeconomic model that says, why are you self-immolating? It doesn't fit into my microeconomic model of rational actors maximizing profit, individual profit. It doesn't make sense to their worldview.
Yeah. Yeah. It is really, it's hard to wrap your head around, because it's like this guy seems like a very cool guy. I kind of wish he was like still alive.
Yeah.
And I saw that that guy Michael Ian Black on Twitter was like, he goes, I guess we're at the burn yourself alive part of America. And I just wish that I was like, God, I wish he set you on fire instead of himself.
I wish P. Diddy raped him to get a record contract. I wish P. Diddy had forcible sex with him.
Hey, Michael Ian Black. I wish P. Diddy set his dick on fire and forcibly put it in your butthole.
I wish when Michael Ian Black was 10.
10 minutes, baby. You got to wait 10 minutes before you advocate for P. Diddy raping Michael Ian Black with his fire penis.
Fire dick is crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
I wish when Michael Ian Black was...
No one's fucking with our money tonight.
I wish when Michael Ian Black was 10, P. Diddy made him wrestle for Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. Johnny, thank you for setting up this timer in the room.
Yeah.
We can... Yeah, I didn't do that too early.
Did you see that clip of what Kevin Hart? There's a live stream with P. Diddy, and P. Diddy was talking about when Usher was 10, I was a little older and we would wrestle for Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, for cereal.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Kevin Hart was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
This is a live stream.
Video of him begging Justin Bieber to continue to hang out with him. They had a sleepover or something.
Jesus Christ. It's just
weirdo shit.
Just had to become the new Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Celebrity is like that. I think it's one of the reasons we notice the child predator shit more, because it's a place where children are allowed to work, So it's oh no, this is fun. We're doing a bit. We're like colleagues. It's he's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah.
If 5-year-olds, did truck work with you,
Right.
There'd be more people complaining about.
It also must be a huge prize if you're a child molester
to get Justin Bieber. Oh, you think Diddy knew those cameras were rolling and was trying to impress the predators?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It would be like you going out with Margot Robbie or Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
If you're a pedophile, that's the pedophile equivalent.
It's the pedophile Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. I do P. Diddy is the modern Roman dictator Sulla, just a mass murdering bisexual rapist, a powerful mass murdering bisexual rapist.
Yeah. I wonder if he killed. You think he killed Biggie or had anything to do with that?
I think Biggie was done by Suge Knight. But P. Diddy was probably involved in, and that's the other thing is Tupac. He has all these puffy up and vibe like a bitch to hide that fact he did some shit that he shouldn't have did, and he says you know what or something there's a lot of cryptic references to I don't know. I don't know when exactly P. Diddy
What if?
started.
And I don't want to disrespect. Oh, Deb's calling. I don't want to disrespect Biggie, but what if Diddy was in the car when Biggie got shot? What if he didn't catch any bullets because he was giving Biggie roadhead? Was Biggie driving?
Yes.
He was down, and he looked up, and all the bullets had missed him.
The investigators are 7 bullets went through the passenger side window,
and then
exactly where your head would have been if you had a seatbelt on. So
even if it was his first time sucking dick, if it prevented you from dying, wouldn't you be I have to suck dick for the rest of my life? Clearly this is a godsend. This is the way.
I'm gonna make so much money.
It's kind of hard, but not right. He's dancing, just thinking about
Just gets out of the
dodging
car.
those bullets.
Gets out of the car, starts
giving
dancing. I might have been sucking your dick in that car. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put that in the song. Yeah. But
but then, I Wikipedia self-immolation. I only know about the Vietnamese dudes doing it, right? That was Vietnam, the Buddhist.
yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
What happened to them? They got, because it's Buddhist persecution. They just weren't allowed to practice their Buddhism.
Right. So the monk in the Rage Against the Machine cover is Thick Quang Duc. I assume I'm pronouncing it wrong.
So funny that it's it's the 1980s funny name, Long Duck Dong. What's his name again?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Oh, from 16 Candles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A legitimate hero, and we can just make fun of his name. Just complete losers.
Yeah, say it again.
No, but Thick Quang Duc or however you actually pronounce it. He set himself on fire in Vietnam in 1963, and he was protesting against the Diem government in South Vietnam, was heavily Catholic, and they discriminated against Buddhists, and they broke up Buddhist worship, didn't allow them to raise their flags, and then the military broke up a Buddhist protest against this and killed I think 9 people. And so he self-immolated in response to that, and the picture went around the world. Of course, you've seen it on the Rage Against the Machine cover, but John F. Kennedy, he saw it on the newspapers in the White House. He was recorded saying, "Oh God," when he first saw it. I think he was talking on the phone at the time. And he said, no image has spread around the world faster and with more emotional resonance than that one did. And you can imagine why. And ultimately, Diem would be cooed by the CIA, partly because of that, partly because of the protest, partly because Peter Del Scott says he was reaching out to North Vietnam and trying to set up some sort of peace deal. But, ultimately he won. And that's the other thing about the Aaron Bushnell thing is you see all these kind of, fucking losers online who can't look anywhere past their own end of their nose saying, oh, this doesn't matter. This doesn't make a difference. And it's like, we don't know yet. All of these actions will have consequences. Daniel Ellsberg leaked the Pentagon Papers because he saw some guy set himself on fire in front of the Pentagon outside of Robert McNamara's office. So it's these things do have consequences. They do inspire other people. And, the Vietnamese monk protests did very much inspire opposition and eventually topple the Diem government. And it's too early to tell, but it's just so... It's something where I've gotten very cynical. Yeah. Because... I was really into, obviously, when I was younger, Obama 2008, and then Occupy Wall Street, and then both Bernie campaigns. And it's sort of you get...
And now you finally found your true political identity. Yeah.
It's you get cheated on and you can't trust anymore. You get very cynical. You're we really tried our best at selfless politics in America, but this shit isn't going to work. You just kind of got to take care of your friends and family, look out for number one, just accept that it's people here are too, whatever. Everybody's just focused on their own pocketbook. But then, a guy who's Aaron Bushnell was 25 years old. He's a decade younger than me. A guy a decade younger than me comes along and shames me for that kind of cynicism and selfishness by doing something where it's you can agree or disagree with the tactic, but he has forced everyone to pay attention to Gaza again when there's nothing Democrats and Republicans want to do more than just not talk about Gaza, just focus on anything else.
Well, what if we all just burned our hair off or just burned off our eyebrows? I don't know. That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it about guys from Philly? I thought that because sometimes when I get pushback for talking about this stuff, I'll click on these guys' profiles and a lot of them are from Philly, and I thought that guys from Philly were mean. I didn't realize they were just cucked losers who feel like they can't do anything.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are down low. A lot of them have signed record contracts with P. Diddy.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Meek Mill was implied.
Yeah,
Philadelphia rapper.
Yeah, Usher and Meek Mill are the two people alleged to. It's this
right,
lost...
but I don't know if you've seen Meek Mill's Twitter.
Yes.
But apparently he has said that he's heterosexual.
Yeah, he explained all the types of way he likes it and how it feels and how slimy it can get.
He came out as heterosexual.
Yeah, he had an album come out today. What I liked so much about
he's I love how pussy be feeling like Nickelodeon gag.
Somebody on Twitter, yeah. Somebody on Twitter was the Meek Mill track names look kind of sus now. He's got a song called "Came from the Bottom."
Yeah, that's the opening track.
You know what's funny though? He in one of his tweets he wrote out the word pussy, but then he censored it later in the tweet.
Yeah,
funny.
Well, yeah, he was tweeting the guy who pretends to have gotten laid in middle school or whatever, where he was talking about, I don't let pussy control me, but if I'm with a woman, some of your faves, I fuck at least twice a day, something like that.
And he's yelling at that dude DJ Academics or whatever, because DJ Academics is just scrolling and live whatever, and people watched it, and he's you're done. It's this seems like litigation. We're not just reading something that he made up. It's fucking happening.
Yeah,
he's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. How if Diddy like kissed you on the cheek, would you stop associating with Diddy? Kiss on the cheeks. He says goodnight. No, right? You're picking up the phone the next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
He probably
puts his hand on your lap while you're driving the next day. Mm-hmm. You talking to Diddy the next day? Mm-hmm. Hand on the lap, like 10 minutes. Hand on the lap, just driving.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's different, right?
It's weird because Colin Jost molested me for years.
It'd be funny if he molested you and couldn't even get you the SNL writer's job.
Yeah.
Look, we tried our best.
Yeah, I like go over to his house to like have consensual sex, so it feels normal. Anyway, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, the P. Diddy lawsuits were what? There's multiple. Like, this guy committed 80% of all non-prison homosexual rapes, apparently.
Yeah.
But well, like that, what the woman alleges. I mean, and women, his ex-girlfriend says he raped her too, and says he like made her be with other men and would watch, and just like very weird behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're sort of laying it out like he's an Epstein type.
Right. And, you know, one of the conspiracy accounts I follow on Twitter was pointing out, John Potash is the author we might have mentioned with regards to the Tupac murder. He's kind of theorized, or I mean, he's one of the people who's pointed out there was like an FBI car directly behind Tupac. Like they were tailing him. That doesn't mean he was killed by the FBI, but they were tailing him at the time. And he alleges that there was like a COINTELPRO type thing at Death Row Records, like where the FBI was, you know, following these kind of radical rappers like Tupac and, you know, keeping tabs and discrediting them, trying to start feuds and this sort of thing. And so people have kind of pointed out, well, it seems like that whatever that kind of COINTELPRO type thing in the 90s never actually stopped, where you do have guys like P. Diddy who are like linked into more powerful systems and do seem to, well, I don't know, he's apparently telling male rappers and R&B singers that if they want a contract, they have to like have anal sex with him, and showing videos of him having anal sex with other people who have record deals.
Yeah. Do you think the FBI started a feud with us and Adam Friedland?
Very possible.
Do you think they're behind that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that a shame? You can't just be an artist who's like a little bit on the left and be successful, because then the feds will step in.
Right.
Yeah.
How many patrons would it take for you to have sex with P. Diddy?
Like once or like regularly? I feel like he doesn't do it just once though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to be like, no, I don't know.
He seems like he would be like when a little kid pets a dog, like that's how he is with sex, you know, where you're like, you're gonna hurt me, and it's not even because you have a big dick, it's just because like you're having too much fun that's not even sexual. You're like jumping around when you're supposed to be fucking my ass, P. Diddy. You know? So no, I want it. And then just because I think he'd be playing too much.
Who did he dangle off a balcony?
Yeah.
Did he dangle something?
Suge Knight did dangle, I guess, a few people like Vanilla Ice and stuff. But Diddy as well dangled someone off a balcony. Yeah, like an R&B singer or something. I guess Chris Brown is implied too.
Yeah, it's so annoying when you're trying to have gay anal sex and the producer P. Diddy's all up in the videos dancing.
Right.
Come to death row if you don't want that.
Is Suge Knight in jail right now?
Yeah, he's in jail.
So.
Damn, they got him.
Yeah.
For real shit too, right? It's like...
We killed a guy on the set of the Straight Outta Compton movie.
Oh, yeah, he ran him over. He got nervous and ran... Well, that's his defense. Was that like all these guys were circling him? So,
he had anxiety.
Yeah. And so he ran a dude over. I remember TMZ posting that.
They made a Biggie movie, right?
Yeah, I think it was pretty bad. I never saw it.
Wasn't he like, Puffy, you're my best friend?
Oh, actually, no, I did see it. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I saw it on TV.
Did Sean Kingston play him?
I forget who played him.
No, Sean Kingston didn't.
Oh, he didn't? But I thought he was like in talks to play Biggie.
No, that's great, though.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Sean.
Maybe I dreamed that.
Yeah. But I mean, you're Biggie. How long did you know Diddy for before you die? 4 or 5 years, something like that? And then everyone's like, they were best friends, you know? Like, that's like your label just because he helped you get famous.
Yeah.
I'd be a little irritated about that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how funny it'll be, but we can talk about Aaron Bushnell more, because I mean, I do.
Sure. I'm so into it.
Well, that's the thing, it like I said, it really woke me up out of a lot of cynicism, and the right wingers, some of the liberal Democrat people, they're like, well, if it's so inspired, why don't you set yourself on fire? But that's, again, you're missing the point. This is like, people need martyrs, people need symbols, and what a guy like Aaron Bushnell tells you is that he expands what you think human beings are capable of. Like, you look at everything that's going on in Gaza, and if you care, which you should, you question, what am I doing? And you can look at Aaron Bushnell and you can say, I can do slightly more. I can donate more of my time. I can donate more money. I can, be more active. I can maybe spend a little less time drinking and doing drugs in order to kind of spend more of my time trying to help other people. Because, that's what these martyrs do is, like, we actually, on the last Patreon, before that happened, we talked about Franz Jägerstatter, who was an Austrian, who's the movie A Hidden Life by Terrence Malick kind of portrays his life story. But he was a devout Catholic who refused to sign, who was conscripted into the German military in World War II, and he refused to sign the Hitler Oath, which was the German military in World War II. They all had to pledge an oath of loyalty to Adolf Hitler. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll enlist, I'll be a medic, but I'm not going to swear loyalty to Hitler. And they cut his head off. And even right before they cut his head off, they said, sure, just sign this piece of paper. And everyone around him said, you can just take the oath with not believing it. That's fine. You're not betraying Christ if you do that. And he still got his head cut off. And these same people who condemn Aaron Bushnell would say, "Oh, that's pointless. Yeah. You're like, in that case, you're leaving your wife and kids behind and all that." And it's like,
did he have a wife and kids?
Aaron Bushnell did not have a wife and kids, but the Franz Jägerstatter did. and again, they're just not understanding the point, which is that these people become martyrs for the rest of us.
Yeah,
it is parallel to Christ. There's no way around it. That's what all the Christian martyrs did. Paralleled the suffering of Christ, and they died for the rest of us. Yeah. Where, we talk about World War II and the Holocaust, all the Germans were evil. Of course they knew. Why didn't more resist? Why didn't more do something? And the only argument anyone has is those people like Sophie Scholl and Franz Jägerstatter and, others. But it's those very few martyrs kind of redeem the entire German people because they were the ones who resisted and did something. And it's the same thing with America right now. Yeah. It's Aaron Bushnell, years from now, when they say, what did Americans do during this? Aaron Bushnell's the guy that kind of died for the rest of us, for the sake of the rest of us. And you kind of should feel some obligation to earn that to, you don't have to light yourself on fire, but you should evaluate what you're doing and recognize that, yes, you can do more.
Yeah. I guess when you think about it, that is the most that someone's done for Gaza.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. I mean, again, the other lady did in December self-immolate in front of the Atlanta Israeli consulate. Yeah. But, again, Aaron Bushnell understood the media enough to understand video and the symbolism of video.
When you're in the Air Force and you're wearing your shit, like that's massive.
Yeah.
There's a guy in fatigues on fire.
Yeah. I wonder if that lady in Atlanta, if she like got her tripod set up and then went to hit record and her battery died. Like me every set that I do. Yeah, I guess it's funny because it is like when you have moral convictions, it's not always an easy life because you like annoy your family and you annoy everybody on social media.
What?
Well, it's like you make sacrifice when you have
to annoy people.
When you have morals,
you have to annoy people.
You end up annoying people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess so.
I sent my mom a picture of
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I sent my mother a picture of a child that starved to death.
This fucking guy.
What?
Nothing. I don't know. Your approach is different. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm trying to raise awareness, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to convince the people close to me that
you should make GIFs out of it. I think for good, out of all the atrocity you've seen, you should be the first person to make GIFs so you could send your friends not just pictures of these atrocities, but moving pictures.
Or maybe
I think that's your call because you're bothering people, but you're doing good. So make GIFs of of a genocide.
Yeah, or add like sound effects or something.
Sure, there you go. Yeah. There you go.
Because I sent her this picture and I said, "Look at this. Kids are starving to death." And she goes, "Do you want to come down to visit on Saturday or Sunday?"
That's what you deserved.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you're coming down to visit. Mm-hmm. You know?
I think she deserves the picture of the kid. If I'm being honest.
You bring that up to her, you go, "Hey, did you see, Aaron Bushnell lit himself on fire? What do you think about that?" And you talk to her. You don't just randomly bomb people photos.
Yeah. Well, I tried to do a joke a long time ago, and comics liked it, but I couldn't get audiences to get on board with it. But it was like, people say that vegans are annoying, but they are sort of like morally right. And I wonder if they were people who were against slavery during slavery that just annoyed all their family and friends. Like they were like, "You know where your shirt comes from, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, yes, it comes from slaves." I don't know what you want me to do about it. So
yeah. But
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna keep annoying people. Whoever's annoyed by me can keep getting annoyed or unfollow me.
right.
Suck a dick. Unless you live in Cleveland, Cincinnati, or Frederick, Maryland. Otherwise, buy a ticket this weekend.
Chris Hedges wrote about Aaron Bushnell pretty well in his Substack, but he talks about in the Velvet Revolution in Czech Republic. There's a 20-year-old university student named Jan Pollock who set himself on fire in 1969 to protest the Soviet invasion of what was then Czechoslovakia. So he self-immolated in 1969, and then in 1989, during the Velvet Revolution, he became a national hero. He became like a symbol of all these street protests, and that's 20 years later.
Yeah.
So that's the thing when you're evaluating someone like Aaron Bushnell. Again, these people want to. They're doing two things at the same time. They know how dangerous martyrs are, so they're trying to discredit Aaron Bushnell. Like they made up some fake. They were spreading this on Twitter, a fake Reddit post that he said like Gaza or Palestine will be free when all the Jews are dead. Like he never said that, but a bunch of those pro-Israel accounts are spreading this fake Reddit post, and then they're taking like the things from his Reddit history.
I mean, that's not wrong. I guess technically,
The things from his
I could push a button. Just kidding.
The things from his Reddit history, like most of them were like, pretty sensible. I think he comes off as a very like sensible, intelligent young man. But they're trying to spread those around. They're trying to discredit him, but they're doing that at the same time that they're saying this doesn't matter. He accomplished nothing. He threw his life away for no reason. And you can just kind of tell that they're lying by the fact that they're on the one hand saying this didn't matter, he accomplished nothing, and at the same time they're devoting all their energy to smearing him, finding things out about him, and by doing that they're revealing he did matter. The state recognizes how dangerous martyrs are. The U.S. state recognizes it. The Chinese, the liberals love all the fucking free Tibet people who have set themselves on fire in Tibet, India, China to protest the Chinese occupation of Tibet or whatever. But all of a sudden when it comes home and when it really kind of is against what is so far I think the worst crime of the 21st century, just in terms of, and that might be controversial to say, but I think it's fucking horrific, man. It's just the reason, I'm sorry to rant here a bit, but the reason why the Darfur, for example, doesn't get, or Rwanda doesn't quite get compared to the Nazi Holocaust is we're talking about a modern state, or like a modern fully developed state. It's not, a more third world country. This is like these are what we're supposed to think of as civilization. Right. These like enlightened liberal democracies, and they're committing these horrific crimes against children, against, in this case, starving people. Like Aaron Bushnell immolated, and then immediately today, when we're coming to record this, the Israelis just massacred at least 112 people who were starving, who were in North Gaza, and who were trying to get to food aid convoys. And they just, so, and the Israelis even released like fucking drone footage of mobs of people in North Gaza rushing towards these food trucks because these people are being starved to death.
Yeah, they're starving. Well, that's why they're not showing you footage of them starving on the ground. They're just little ants running towards it. And then the cars run them over and shit.
Yeah. Some of them were run over by the cars. Some of them were trampled, but that was all started because the Israelis in their tanks opened fire on a crowd of people that were starving and rushing towards aid trucks. Yeah. And it's like, again, they killed at least 112 people. They crushed them with their tanks, shot them. I mean, this is horrific, and this is like what Aaron Bushnell gave his life to bring attention to, and to also give some sort of symbol of resistance, to tell people in America, you can do more to stop this. You don't have to light yourself on fire, but you can do more.
Yeah.
We can still stop this.
Yeah. Is there any, do you see any like positive outcome?
Yeah, Joe Biden loses.
Yeah.
Trump puts him in prison.
Sure, and Trump makes a deal.
Yeah, Trump makes a deal. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if Joe Biden does win, I'm not sure what consequences there are for what's been done in Gaza. And I guess that's not an endorsement of Trump, but it's also, I mean, I'm just hoping that if there's enough pressure from Democratic voters, maybe they'll get some sort of deal where there isn't a ground invasion of Rafah. And, but, you know, I don't know what a deal looks like, but it's like the U.S. has all the cards. All they have to do is recognize a Palestinian state and say, we're going to defend the borders of this Palestinian state. And that's the end. Well, it's not quite the end of it, but that'll start the end of it.
The U.S. has to recognize the Palestinian state?
Which is what the Biden people are teasing. They're saying we're going to eventually, but, you know, as of right now, there's still, I'll believe it when I see it. But that's all the U.S. has to do, is recognize a Palestinian state. The U.S. is we provide Israel with almost all the weapons. We provide them with their Security Council veto. The U.S. just has to step in and say, you know, here's where the border is. You guys play nice for a bit.
It just doesn't make any sense because, like, even the people in the Biden administration, like, what do they think is going to, like, what is their best case scenario? What are they hoping happens?
The status quo. I mean, I think they want to, like, try to free, like, not the status quo of violence. I think they want to get back to the pre-October 7th status quo. And, you know, I mean,
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening. It's kind of an unrealistic goal, but I think that's what they're going to, or they're going towards, is like, just let the Israelis get it out of their system, let them do a bunch of killing. And they definitely, I think the Biden people really do want this shit to kind of stop by April or May.
Yeah.
But it seems like the Israelis are trying to start a war with Lebanon. So, I mean, this shit, it really does seem like it could spiral out of control. And, you know, we've mentioned Hezbollah in Lebanon, like they would absolutely pound the shit out of Tel Aviv with missiles and rockets of, you know, much higher capability than Hamas has.
Yeah.
Like it'd be a bloodbath.
So that's cool. So maybe the one good thing happening is some missiles landing in
Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Just Eve Barlow getting hit by a missile.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the New York Times that rape story was completely exposed as a fake?
I've been saying that. I've been saying that our boys didn't rape anybody. I knew they didn't do it. I just... They're Muslim. They don't do that kind of thing. It's in the Quran, you fucking idiots. And now what? Yeah, you're right. Everybody owes me an apology. Jordan Jensen, Ian Fidance, Adam Friedland, you all owe me an apology. Please write me a written apology that said, we're sorry for thinking that Hamas raped anyone.
This is a story in The Intercept. It just came out today, actually. So the New York Times story was done by like 3 reporters, or one of them was just a lady named Annette Schwartz, who was not a reporter.
Right.
She's an Israeli filmmaker and a quote-unquote former Israeli Air Force.
You guys got any takes on girls named Annette? I've noticed the real fucking problems.
Oh.
Is it a knot?
Well, this is
A-N-A-T?
a knot.
A knot.
Oh, never mind.
Why? What's wrong?
Hey, scratch that. No, every Annette I met is great.
Annette Benning?
Oh, I don't know. I just know Annette's in my personal life. Who do you know Annette?
You know? Oh, yeah.
In my life, you know? Yeah, I don't know. So you go, who do you know Annette? Like I know only celebrities. You know, I just know people, and
yeah,
I always go,
Okay. I feel like Mary Ann's are a problem.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know any Mary Ann's.
Yeah. What else? You know what? You know what's a douchebag name for a guy? Henry.
Huh. I don't know any Henrys.
I don't know any, like...
Marias are usually strong women. I'm not even complimenting or insulting, but Maria always has an opinion, you know? And a Maria...
You know who's Henry's a piece of shit and Andrew's a piece of shit.
Ooh.
If you know any Andrews.
Yeah.
I know some nice Andrews.
Who?
Andrew Slater, comedian. He's
Andrew.
a nice guy.
Oh, yeah. Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew, we're big fans.
You know who's always a nice guy is Sean, like Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Yeah.
Problem with Sean is there's different spellings.
There's different spellings. Yeah.
There's the spelling where you have sex sensually in the ass with a man. There's the spelling where it's not as sensual.
There's good Sean. There's neutral Sean. There's evil Sean. So like, good Sean is SEAN. Neutral Sean is SHAUN. And then evil Sean is SHAWN.
Oh, SHWN. It's you decided to write you write that on like a desk, in school.
Right.
SHAWN. Your parents shouldn't give you that spelling.
No.
You should be SEAN, and then you change it to SHAWN when you think you're being a rebel or you want to be like a pro wrestler or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Sean Kemp was accused of rape, but I guess he was accused of being involved in a drive-by shooting.
How? Oh, okay. And what about Sean? No, because Sean King but he's kind of neutral. He's not really evil.
Right. Yeah.
SHAUN.
I mean, Sean King freed the Israeli hostages that were Americans when he negotiated directly between Hamas and the Israeli government.
I mean, let him have
behalf
some
of the-
fun. Who
on behalf of the
cares?
family.
Who cares? They banned my man off Instagram. Let him sell his $80 hoodies.
I didn't want to reveal this, but the Out for Smokes podcast, we were talking to Aaron Bushnell in the week before, and we gave him some notes on the speech he should give beforehand.
We were going to have him on the show. But we were like, hey, man, usually our guests are a little more famous. Is there anything you could do to sort of up your profile? Because we have had on like Nimesh Patel. And who else have we had on? Ian Fidance. Yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't following you though, Sean, on Twitter. You'd think a guy who lights himself on fire for Palestine would at least be liking your tweets over the last few months.
It seems like he mostly used Reddit.
Oh,
but yeah, it is true. Like all of, that guy who like listened to Chapo Trap House and like shot his sister and a bunch of people in Ohio.
Yeah.
He followed me on Twitter.
That's sick.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He did. I'm not making that up.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You should have DM'd him. He would have given you advice on what to do. It wouldn't be killing your sister.
Yeah.
You watched the Bushnell thing? You watched like the full video?
No.
You didn't?
No.
He talks. He like he's walking and he talks,
Yeah?
Yeah. And you go, what's that thermos for?
Yeah.
And then you find out what the thermos is for. It's like, Johnny, did you watch the video? You did, right?
It was in a Stanley Cup.
No. Yeah, it was in a Target Stanley Cup. Yeah, he lit himself on fire, and then 5 women ran around him and fought over the mug that he that he had gasoline in.
Oh my God, it's pink! Some fat bitches ran through the flames.
Well, what's so cool about it's cool about it, but he goes, this is not worse. What I'm about to do is not worse than what's going on in Palestine.
Right.
And so he sort of poses a question to the audience, which is when I light myself on fire, you're going to watch this and you have to decide, is this worse than what's happening in Palestine? And it's not. And I think for that, it's like so impressive where you're watching this video and you go, yeah, don't light yourself on fire.
Do you think he knew he was going to die?
Friends and family that I talk to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I assume when you light yourself on fire, you're like,
You think it's possible.
pretty sure I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes if they get you with an extinguisher real fast, you can not die. But even then, you'll be usually pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But you're watching this horrifying thing, and it sucks, and it's sad. Unless you're being in like a fun mood, it's sad, right? If you want to like look at it as an adult, you go, "This is terrible," and you're watching a body like scream "Free Palestine" and then fall over, and more flames and all these terrible things. But still, the whole time you're going, "Oh, that thing he said right before he did it." That this isn't worse than what's happening in Palestine. Is that true? And you're watching a body go up in flames and you're going, no, this isn't worse. This was his choice, his decision. It's like
He'd probably still be alive if it wasn't for...
He's 25, I think the oldest man in Palestine right now is 24, so...
That was tasteless.
Sorry.
You're tacky.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, Scott's right. Like, he gave that speech where he says, this is what our ruling class has decided will be normal.
Yeah.
And then, there's a massacre like just a couple days later of more than 100 people just murdered because they were starving to death and trying to get food.
Yeah,
Is
like
there
a
a way-
food truck. I'm visualizing a food truck.
Basically,
Yeah.
yes.
Is there a way to kill yourself that could also kind of like ruin someone's day? Like I would like if I could make like I would like to be in the White House press briefing room. I don't know who that guy is, that spokesperson. Not John Kirby, but like the younger guy, or I don't know, whoever it is.
Well, they probably pat you down there, right? In the briefing room.
Maybe, but I would love to be like. But I would love to just go in with like a giant Alka-Seltzer like this big, and just swallow it during the press conference, and just get up and just explode and just get blood all over that.
Mike shows up with Coca-Cola and Pop Rocks.
Yes,
they're like, "Don't do it, Mike!
Yes.
Don't do it!"
And it's just like pop, 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 pop
in your mouth. I'm a freak. I'm fucking crazy.
Like chewing mental for Palestine.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want my stomach to explode like a seagull because I ate too much Alka-Seltzer. All right, any weapons? Nope, just this dinner plate sized Alka-Seltzer that I'll be snacking on throughout the course of the meeting.
Just my lunch of Coca-Cola and Mentos. No weapons at all, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a medical condition. I can't drink water. I'm one of those people. Wait, have you seen that guy, that gay guy on TikTok?
No.
It's like, I'm going to make my water for the day. And he takes water and he like adds like flavoring to it and colors and like edible glitter. Because he like doesn't like water. You know these people who don't like the taste of water?
I've met a few, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, mate, I want to find it now. I want to show it to you guys.
Yeah, we have a few buddies who, I mean, maybe now they've changed their minds, but when we were in our 20s, they were like anti-water and they thought that was like cool. Yeah, no, I've always been pro-water, dude.
I mentioned this Intercept article with Anat Schwartz.
Yeah.
But the Intercept article...
Go ahead, I'm going to find this.
Sure. It very thoroughly debunks the New York Times story, which, you know, if you remember, the New York Times came out with this story. It was called Screams Without Words about, you know, mass Hamas rape on October 7th.
Dude, I haven't read the New York Slimes since then.
Right. Yeah.
We know what Sean calls it, but
we're not going to
say it again.
We know what we call it.
We're not going to say it again on the show. Of course not.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite flavors. You can't go.
Okay, this is a guy drinking flavored
water of the day. Oh, what flavor am I going to choose today?
Look at this.
I am going to go for a Sonic Ocean Water. And then I'm also going to be using one of these blueberry high C packets. These have honestly become one of my favorite packets to use because it tastes like blueberry jello. It just tastes so
Guys that wear makeup look like magicians, right? It's funny that gay guys think like that they would have makeup, but it's magicians.
Yeah.
very. Let's give that a little mixeroonie. I am going to add in my ice.
I mean, you guys get the gist, but
You get the gist. He's doing more than water in a cup.
I don't think we can have Medicare for all now. I'm not paying for this fucking guy's health care. You know? This is I don't want to be in a society with him. Okay.
All right. So The Intercept. Okay. Yeah. So this New York Times story comes out, I think November last year or December, around then.
Do you have a message from Nick Fuentes? That's somebody else.
No, I follow him on Telegram and I get all his alerts.
Oh, okay.
He wished me a happy birthday.
He did?
Well, no, on my Twitter.
Oh.
On one of his alt accounts. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's an alt account? People have alt accounts. So many people.
Well,
have
Nick
alt-
Fuentes is banned from Twitter, so yeah.
It's not real. Is it
Taylor
really
Kanye
him?
West, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him. In my replies, you know, and people say he's like a bad guy and, you know, a white supremacist and an FBI informant, but he wished me a happy birthday.
Yeah.
He does feel like all those things.
People say he was there on January 6th and for some reason was never charged and
Right.
seems to be working with the federal government to get groypers set up in sting operations, but I think he's a good guy. He wished me a happy 35th.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He actually said F. Well,
35th?
yeah. Oh, God. Do you guys know the Call of Duty meme? Press F to pay respects.
No.
No.
People do that on like 4chan or whatever. Because if in Call of Duty, you know, one of your buddies gets killed, and there's like you can go to his funeral, and the game lets you press F to pay your respects to him. It's like the 20-gun salute or whatever.
Yeah.
So you press F, so they'll say F to pay respects to people who died.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, we got sidetracked. New York Times, they came out with that story.
Yeah, well, now you guys know something about your favorite co-host.
What, that I'm best friends with an FBI informant?
Yeah, I never knew that about you, Sean.
Yeah. Well, I've never had a conversation with him. He just wished me a happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, New York Times report about these fake rapes, and it came out, and everybody was like, what more proof do you need? The New York Times, the most reputable paper, just said there was a bunch of rapes, and a bunch of people on the internet were like, oh yeah, well, of course men in war zone rape, that's obvious. Yeah, there's no evidence at all, but let's just assume the Palestinians did rape. And, you know, you still see people saying this.
Yeah.
But The Intercept just came out with this piece today, which very thoroughly debunks how the New York Times actually got this piece, which is they relied on this lady, Anat Schwartz, who's an Israeli filmmaker, former Air Force intelligence official, and of course, quotes on former, because most intelligence officials, if they leave, they usually just go into a to a cover assignment. Like they pretend they separate and then they go do something else while still unofficially working for intelligence. But basically, she went on... she's like the main person who collected all the information for this story, all these, fake Hamas rapes. And she had on her Twitter feed, she liked a tweet saying that before she put up this story, she liked a tweet saying that Israel needed to, quote, turn this Gaza Strip into a slaughterhouse, quote, violate any norm on the way to victory. Those in front of us are human animals who do not hesitate to violate minimal rules. So this is the New York Times lady who did their story, said that they needed to turn the Gaza Strip into a slaughterhouse, was also photographed with Eve Bartlow, close friends with her. And basically, The Intercept found that Schwartz did a radio interview with Israeli Army Radio on December 31st. And in it, she says, quote, the New York Times said, let's do an investigation into sexual violence. It was more a case of them having to convince me, she said. Her host cut her off. It was a proposal of the New York Times, the entire thing? Unequivocally, obviously, of course, she said. The paper stood behind us 200% and gave us the time, the investment, and the resources to go in depth this investigation as much as we need it. So it was senior leadership of the New York Times reached out to this Israeli Air Force intelligence official and asked her to come up with fake evidence of rape. And the Intercept post even points out where she was hesitant because she had absolutely no experience in terms of, Schwartz said she was initially reluctant to take the assignment because she did not want to look at visual images of potential assaults and because she lacked the expertise to conduct such an investigation. So it was like senior leadership of the New York Times reached out to this Israeli intelligence official with no experience investigating sexual assault or rape or whatever and said, just get us some evidence of sexual violence on October 7th. And that's what she did. And it's like, I don't know. It's crazy because it's the New York Times, WMDs in Iraq all over again, but there's never, it doesn't seem...
I mean, it makes me want to fly to Israel and actually... Just kidding.
It doesn't seem like there's... Well, last time with WMDs, there was no consequences. They kind of admitted, we fucked up later, but they got their war. And it's the same thing with this shit. It's like, I mean, hopefully there will be... The New York Times is currently investigating the leak as to how... it leaked out that there was a lot of dissent within the paper about this story. Yeah. But they were able to cover up a genocide for several months with this completely bullshit story. And that's sort of as much good reporting as there is at the New York Times. That's sort of their role, is to be a credible institutional force that can, launder NATO propaganda when it needs it.
Did the lawyer calling Hamas saying that maybe they could sue the New York Times? And so you have this lawyer,
nice.
Representing Hamas suing the New York Times. That's fun. That's a movie.
Would be fair. Yeah. For slander, for libel.
Yeah, for slander.
It's like the same lawyer that works with P. Diddy to sue all the people slandering him, saying he's a rapist. Hamas innocent, P. Diddy innocent.
Hamas is like, get me P. Diddy's lawyer. Or they hire Harvey Weinstein's lawyer because she's a tough bitch. She's a girl boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a lady lawyer. Harvey Weinstein had a lady lawyer?
You have
That's
to.
so funny.
You have to have a lady.
You have to,
when you get accused
of course.
You can't
So
have some...
silly.
Yeah. You can't have some guy who's like, Your Honor, does Mike Recine look like he needs to... Come on, that guy gets a lot of...
Might get pussy easy.
That guy gets a lot of pussy is what I'm hearing.
Yo.
Word on Facebook. Your Honor, I hacked the lady comics group. Everybody says they want to have sex with him. Everybody loves a guy who's 5'8".
Joanna, does this look like a man who needs to force it?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But now, why does it feel like they can't? They can't like put it back in the bottle now.
What do you mean?
The rapes and the
rapes
and the atrocities that Hamas allegedly committed.
Well, it's just such a huge part of the justification for murdering starving people and children.
Yeah,
is like, oh, they're animals. They don't respect the law of war and blah blah blah.
I saw this interview with that guy Scott Ritter, who's like a U.S. military guy.
Yeah, the pedophile. Yeah,
I know he's. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I did go to his Wikipedia and it said Scott Ritter is a writer, U.S. military personnel, and convicted sex offender. And I don't know.
He's innocent just like P. Diddy. Scott Ritter Innocence Project.
Yeah. And who are we to? I don't know. But anyway, anyway, he made the point that
I love the Scott Ritter logic of like, because he was like really against the Iraq War. He like debated Christopher Hitchens on it, and he's like, damn, I am a huge U.S. government critic. I'm fucking with Dick Cheney and George W. Bush. Yeah, I should respond to this 13-year-old girl text message he made.
Right.
Or I should text message this obvious undercover cop pretending to be a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I guess you're just too much of a boomer to understand.
Technology.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
Boomers have a problem with what love is, like the perception
And it was the
of who's
Iraq War,
attracted to
so it was probably on AOL Instant Messenger. He was like going home and her away message was up. He's like, come on, please come back. I miss
Like
you.
some Counting Crows lyrics.
Yeah. God. Just anybody who's listening to the show, just remember, if you're listening to the Out for Smokes podcast, 14-year-old girls don't want to have sex with you.
Yeah, seriously.
Just don't. You're not that cool. Just as a little. But anyway, but he was saying
Yeah, but the Patreons, that's a different story.
Right. What are you trying to say?
Wait, what?
What's your point?
I would even
I was
argue
trying to
that.
yes. Sean, I was trying to yes and
I
you
would
there.
argue it's not. Even if 14-year-olds do want to have sex with you,
I was trying to
But
yes.
you would-
it's an indictment
You're
on
not
you.
a pedophile.
It makes you not cool.
You're not a pedophile.
14-year-olds like lame shit.
I was trying to yes and you there, and I had nothing.
No. You're like Shinji's teacher in Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah.
Turning down Asuka's advances.
Yeah. But
What
he
is
said
that? What is that? That's
You
a
never saw
manga?
it? Yeah, or it's an anime. Yeah.
No.
He said, as bad as the U.S. is, we don't kill our own people,
Well, that's not true.
which isn't right.
I mean, we do it less. You
We
don't
do it
really
less,
need to as much, but occasionally,
Yeah.
Danny Casolaro is somebody. We will do an episode on that, by the way. There's a new Netflix documentary called The Octopus.
Nice.
It's about Danny Casolaro was investigating what's the Promise software. Very obviously, U.S. journalist murdered in 1991 over his investigation into the Promise software. Almost certainly military intelligence guy killed him. But
We only kill our own people if they're like a 21-year-old civil rights activist who are trying to sleep in their own homes. But we don't. I guess we don't. He was saying we don't do it on a scale of what Israel did.
yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
What the hell are you gonna do, folks? It's a fucked up, twisted world. We got some. I'm gonna head over to the Patreon. We got a little gossip. You guys got some gossip?
Yeah, we got some
do,
gossip.
I guess, yeah.
We'll do. It will be a bit more fun on the Patreon, but I guess maybe closing thoughts about Aaron Bushnell because I do want to give him a rest in power. I know that's controversial, but I think white boys earned rest in power.
Oh, I saw that someone made up that's what Rest in Power was about, right? That it was like black power.
You're not allowed to say rest in power about a white person.
But it turns out that's not true.
I always thought it
It's
was
not real.
corny. I mean, whatever. I don't care what people do, but
I say rest easy, and I think that's corny too. I mean, but I think when my dad died, my post was like a picture of him, and I was like, rest easy.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, somebody found.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I just don't like. I don't like. I don't want to say it.
One of the first mainstream usages of rest in power was for Rachel Corrie, who's, of course, an American citizen crushed by an Israeli bulldozer because she was trying to do a peaceful protest against the demolition of Palestinian houses. And so, these are like two American martyrs for Palestine.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I thought that whole discourse was very silly.
Very silly.
But it's...
well, policing language is just never gonna.
Yeah.
It's a losing battle.
Yeah.
I mean, because like white people just, even if it is African American slang, white people are always going to end up using it.
Well, yeah, it's like you go to a wake, right? Like the word wake is from Irish people. I don't go like, don't call it a wake. And you're like, but my mom's dead and everyone's going to go see her. But don't call it a wake. I'm Irish. It's like odd.
Yeah.
It's just like words is words, and
Wow.
we're throwing them around everywhere.
Irish people trying to be oppressed again, huh?
I wasn't trying to be
to-
oppressed. I'm
trying
just
to
saying
co-opt-
words is words.
Irish people trying to co-opt the black experience
You know?
in America.
But I guess,
Just despicable.
yeah.
Anyway,
My closing thought on
Yeah.
Aaron Bushnell is just, it seems hopeless a lot, and we have nice, comfortable lives in the West, so it's whatever. But things can seem pretty bleak sometimes in terms of the situation of the world if you're an empathetic person, and it's very easy to get cynical and detached. But Aaron Bushnell, like I said, I'm 35. He was 25, a decade younger than me, and it
just seems like he's a bright guy.
He's a smart guy. And he was not mentally ill. And this is like completely ridiculous stuff where these liberals said he was mentally ill when they love people who set themselves on fire for Tibet or whatever. They, Hillary Clinton held up the picture of a little kid who set himself on fire to protest the Chinese treatment of Tibet. And, she held him up as a martyr. The Arab Spring was set off by the Tunisian guy who set himself on fire to protest the government there. And
Now,
he was held up as a martyr.
A little kid setting himself on fire. That's kind of like a little kid changing his gender, right? Like, is that his idea?
I don't know. Yeah. But, the point was, it's like this guy a decade younger than me reminds me that it's a waste to be cynical because there's so much human potential out there in the country, in the United States. And a guy like Aaron Bushnell, you see the hunger and the demand in terms of like how interested people are in this story. And also he reveals the enemies of humanity. The people who are like being very disgusting about Aaron Bushnell are enemies of humanity. And that's a good clarifying event because it reminds you the separation between good and evil. And it reminds you that there's so much good within the United States. And there's so many people who are like, they're not going to set themselves on fire, but they're motivated. They have a symbol. They have a hero now, and he shows us the human spirit. Like, it's not all fucking maximizing the amount in your bank account and being a cool guy with a lot of clout.
Right.
And,
It's good that somebody did it.
Right. A guy with his entire life ahead of him made the ultimate sacrifice for the benefit of the rest of us. He did an entirely selfless action, and there's something very powerful about that. It reminds you that you don't have to be a profit-maximizing, self-interested, rational actor. Right. You can do better. There are better things you can do for humanity that will benefit both you and the world.
Rest in peace. And head over to outforsmokes.merchshop.com. We'll be selling T-shirts with Aaron Bushnell's face on them. And all the proceeds will go to getting Scott an apartment that's not his mom's house. Just kidding, everybody.
Please. I can't even talk conspiracy with her because she thinks I've noticed that, like over the last week, when I talk about politics with her, there's like this, she thinks I might kill her in her sleep. Because there's an element of that going on, of like, there's crazy people who have conspiratorial ideas, but it turns out it's like the world we live in.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to convey the news to her, and I could see in her eyes this like,
And
nobody,
rest in peace to all the martyrs. Aaron Bushnell, the guy who cut his dad's head off to protest illegal immigration.
Yeah, dude.
All the American martyrs.
How funny that guy thought he was doing what Bushnell like he was in a headspace of,
right.
Yeah.
Wow. What a dummy.
And t-shirts.outforsmokes.com.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right. Yeah. Rest in peace, Aaron Bushnell.
Patreon.com/outforsmokes.